Hey y'all, it is Andrea here at VW Family Farm, and we have got some work to do today, and I have a very important subject I want to talk to you all about. So we're out here at the barn feeding the pigs, and one thing I want to talk to you about, and this is going to be something that you're going to hear me mention several times throughout this next year, and it's kind of funny because I'm actually going to tell you this and you just got to look at all those pigs. But one thing that's been heavy on my heart for us as well as for you guys, whether you film or whether you don't, whether you have a farm, whether you don't, just in all areas of life, is burnout. And getting back to why you started this or this. This can apply to your farm or homestead. This can apply just to life in general. This can apply to your career, your relationships, everything. But getting back and reevaluating why you started, what you loved about it in the beginning, and where are you at now? Are you still loving it? Are you still being intentional with what you're doing? Or have you kind of strayed away and gotten so overwhelmed taking on too much that you've lost your love for it? So you're going to hear me go more in depth on this on later videos throughout the year, but this is just kind of an intro video to it, to what I've been thinking about and kind of my theme here on our farm and homestead for this year. And that is slowing down, reevaluating, and just thinking things through before jumping in head first. So when we first started this farm slash homestead, it's grown over the years. I really call it a farm now, but when it started, it was definitely more of a small thing. It was more of a homestead. But either way, what we do here can be upscaled or downscaled or whatever. It seems to apply to, you know, everyone that's wanting to raise either one animal or 10,000 animals. But when we started small and we started very intentional. We were not on social media posting about it. We were definitely not making YouTube videos about it. We started simply to stop having to buy all of our food from the grocery store. We had some food allergies going on, and so like a lot of people, that's where it began, out of necessity. It's grown over the years. It's taken on a life of its own, which has been a great thing. We've been able to connect with so many of you. We've been able to do way more above and beyond anything we ever hoped or dreamed. God has definitely blessed us with where this thing has gone. But along the way, we've jumped in before we should have. We've taken on animals before we were ready. We took on projects that then we had to go back and undo because we didn't think those through. So we've built fences that we had to tear down. We've put up buildings that then we had to move. We've bought animals that then we had to sell. You see where this is going. And this can apply to lots of areas of your life. Have you ever jumped in and taken on something that you didn't really think through, and then pretty quickly it becomes abundantly clear that you jumped ahead? So you're seeing and hearing a lot of pig footage. The reason for that is we have a lot of pigs. So you may be thinking, how does that add up? If this video is about taking on too much and avoiding burnout and all those things, they have a ton of pigs at their farm, and you're right, we do. But for us, over the years, we have taken on too many different kinds of animals. And the more animals, just for us personally, that we add to the farm, the level of doing things well goes down and down for each different animal. There's just a lot to learn about each animal, each species, and it's very difficult to do that when you have many different kinds. Some people do it and do it well. It's just not something we have found ourselves able to pull off just yet. So the reason we have so many pigs and we show you a lot of the cows is because over time we have experienced burnout ourselves. And so we have started to narrow down the different kinds of animals and focus in on the kinds that we want to do and do well and that fit our end goal, which here is raising protein for ourselves and other people. You have to find out what your end goal, whether that's in your job, on your farm, whatever the case may be, your relationships, and you have to find what you need to focus in on and what you know that you want to do well and focus on that. So I guess officially tip number 1 is focus on what's important and what's going to get you to your end goal. So another thing I want to talk about today, and this is actually the last thing because I want to emphasize these, and then we will talk more about this on a later video. But one thing we've learned over the last few years of doing this, and it's been learned by trial and error, we've gotten ourselves in bad situations a few times, is taking things slow. And by slow, I don't mean like turtle speed or never accomplishing anything, but I mean thinking things through before you make a decision that could cause yourself a lot of work. So I'm going to put out my last hay bale. Then I got the chores done for today. But I don't want you to misunderstand me. I'm not saying that there's never a time to do things temporarily, knowing that you're gonna have to move it around. We've done that many times here on our farm, and that was the plan from the get-go. We just needed something to work for that day, knowing that was not gonna be permanent. But for the most part, I am trying to take a year of slowing down and thinking things through, thinking about, do I want this next responsibility, whether it's another animal, whether it's saying yes to, you know, committing to something, whether it's saying, yes, I will attend that, or yes, I will do that, or yes, I can pull that off. No matter what the yes is, I'm trying to slow down and make sure that my commitment is good. Because I think these days for me, and I think for a lot of other people, we jump into things without truly thinking about, am I really committing to this, and am I really going to pull this off in the long run? We jump in and out of animals, we jump in and out of, you know, new puppies, we jump in and out of saying yes to showing up for people, we jump in and out of relationships. And I don't just mean like romantic relationships, I mean friendships. We just jump in and out instead of being committed and saying, you know, my yes meant yes, and I'm going to do that. So I'm trying to be more intentional about my yes meaning yes, that I'm going to take that thing on. I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. Now this, I realize, is a bit contradictory to the beginning of the video, because the beginning was about scaling back and honing in on those things that we do well. But the reason is I have failed at this second area so many times, and I've took on too much to where I'm spread too thin and I'm not doing anything well. So make sure your yes is a yes. and then take those things that you do commit to and do them well. My final thought for today is, why did we start this thing in the first place? And that's something I'm going to elaborate on more later. But if you're struggling in your job or in your marriage or whatever the case may be, your farm, your homestead, you're just burnout and you're just tired, and it's just, you've just lost love for it. Well, I encourage you to take a minute and think about, why did I start this thing in the first place? And I think if you do that honestly, and you search your heart, you'll find what you're passionate about, and you'll find that there is still love there. You've just somehow gotten off track, and you can rekindle that. Sometimes it takes some work. It depends on how much damage we have done to our love that we had for that thing. But I just encourage you to do that, and that applies to all areas of life. But I've often wondered, if social media and YouTube and everything went away, how many people that are in this genre of farming and gardening and everything that comes along with homesteading, how many of them would still be doing it? What is their motivation? Is their motivation filming? Is their motivation really raising food? How much would I personally be doing? I'd like to think I'm still gardening and I'm still raising animals and doing the things that I was doing before. Now we've added things to that. Would I continue all of those? I don't know. But if you strip everything away of people watching you, even if you're not on social media, you're not on YouTube, but you strip away everyone's opinions that are around you and every judgment that you feel from people around you, and it was just purely what you felt in your heart, what would you still be doing? And if you can do that, that's probably what you care about the most, and that's the things that you should do. I'll see you guys later. I hope this made sense. I hope it resonates with you. It's just a lot of things I've been thinking about as we go into 2023. 2022 was a heartbreaking year for a lot of us. In 2023, I plan to come back stronger and better than ever. And part of that means finding my focus again, finding those things I'm passionate about and doing those. And I encourage you to do the same. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching, and God bless.